Welcome everybody to my 2025 year in review. Before we get too far, I'd like to send out a special thank you to all my sponsors, and here they all are.
Catch me creeping through the cut.
Well, 2025 was an amazing year, but it would not have happened if it wasn't for my sponsors that I just mentioned. So if you can kindly go down to the description, get all the links, go follow their socials, show your appreciation for what they've done for me, because I wouldn't have had the year I had without them. So 2025 was starting out pretty upsetting. I wasn't able to put a new engine together because at the end of 2024, I spun the rod bearing in the 5.7. So I made it public, basically, don't expect me out with my car at least until 2026. But that's when Harcum reached out to me. I wasn't planning on doing sponsorships. I just didn't feel I was ready. I didn't feel the car was ready. I am still fairly new to the drifting community. So, but it was awesome that they reached out. They're willing to help me get what I needed. So with the help of Justin Dubé and my friend James Benson, we were able to get the parts and put together a nice clean 6-liter engine. Yeah, so once I got the engine back here, got it in the car, I still had quite a bit of fabrication to do. I had to do catch can, I had to do power steering cooler, I had to do an oil cooler, I had to write all new lines, my AccuSump. It was quite a bit of stuff. So I was down to the wire for Northern Bout. Thanks to Justin Dubé, we had to do some early morning, the day of the event, data logging, because the one I did the night before got corrupted. And so I wasn't too proud of what I had to do to get that one, but nonetheless. So yeah, so we got down to the event, and it was pretty crazy because I had never competed in an event before. I've never even did a tandem until that day. So during the practice, my first tandem was with Nico. He was the first person I went behind, and I kept my distance, but it was nerve-wracking. As you can see, made a few mistakes during practice, and ultimately I made it at the very bottom of the list. Wow. My whole plan for the event was just to show up, have a good time, and drive the car home without wrecking it. That was my goal. So I ended up going against Brett Alexander, and he's a pretty good driver. And I pulled him off to the side just before we went, and I told him, it's like, listen, man, this is like my second or third tandem this weekend for the first time. So be careful when you're following me, especially. So when I did my chase run right off the hop, I just could not keep up with him. Either I just didn't get a good enough run to get up close to him. It seemed like I was keeping a decent, consistent gap, but I was failure to follow, essentially. So in the end, once I was able to do my lead run, he was right on my ass. And when I come around after the second outer zone, I basically, when I transitioned, it just whipped right around on me. So luckily, he listened to what I said to him, and he used caution, because we were within a couple feet, up to a foot, couple feet, as you can see. But I had a great time, so I basically just helped some of the other guys for the rest of the event. Because obviously I got knocked out. And so at the end of the event, I was able to take all my sponsors for rides, had a great time, and they enjoyed themselves, and it got more excitement from a lot more sponsors to come, which I listed all before. So after Northern Bout, I was basically trying to hit all the 881 Crew open drift events where they do autocross, drifting, and burnouts. They're always great fun, great events, and it's more relaxing. I was hoping to get more tandems in to prepare myself for Southern Bout. Unfortunately, I had a lot of charging issues. Couldn't find an alternator to be a direct fit into my GTO brackets. And a friend of mine a while back closed his business down and gave me a pile of parts. And within those pile was an LS alternator, which he had stated was, but it wasn't a perfect fit. One mount fit perfect, the other mount wouldn't reach, so I had to get creative and put a bracket in there to join the two. And I also had to get creative with the spacing for the new pulley that I bought for it to help with the high revs. So it worked out good, but I just didn't get enough seat time that I wanted to get in preparation for the next event. So we finally made it down to Southern Boat. I was fortunate enough to have a friend of mine, Potter, who is also working with me in my new job with Harchrome. And my brother was able to pop down and give me a hand. Most of the boys were there. Justin Dubé was down there, and that's when Justin Dubé actually helped me out a little bit. Gave me some of his older tires at a really good price. And but I was nervous as hell. Like, just the first time being on a road course where there's walls. So I was really scared about messing my car up. And I just wanted to get as much seat time in on that track before we actually had the event. So the very next day was the day of the event. We had to go out, we got to do some practice. And again, first time on a road course. So I was going by myself for quite a few times and just trying to get a feel for it. I struggled really hard on what they called Power Alley. I just could not get it to link. So be it experience, not used to the car, just not nailing the corners just right. I was getting very close to doing it, but unfortunately I just could not get it. But the boys were trying to give me some pointers. I couldn't get it into third, it would just fall on its face. In second gear, just wasn't quite enough. But for the rest of the track, second gear was perfect. Made my first wall tap when I come around the corner, and I only got one of them on video, but I did nail both sides. So this one here, where I actually tapped the corner light and my bumper, that's the one that I got on film. This one over here, I did not get that one on camera. That was after the first outer zone, which is pretty good. I got to do a couple tandems there with Dubé. So again, I was just hot lapping after hot lapping after hot lapping. I just didn't. I wanted to take every bit of opportunity I had to get some more seat time in on that track. Because, of course, going up against some nice cars, I didn't want to get too ahead of myself and try to, I don't know. It was tough. It was really tough. But in the end, unfortunately, on my last opportunity to do another lap, I come around the corner, the very last corner. The drone was actually following me. It was pretty cool. But as soon as I crossed the finish line, I thought I blew a dry shaft. But then I seen the smoke coming out through the hood. I whipped it off the track right away because I know how much of a pain in the butt it is to clean up oil off the track. Of course, right afterwards, all my sponsors reached out to me and they were like, hey, don't worry about it. We'll get going for next year again, which boosted my confidence quite a bit. And so right now we're working on a 6.2 liter. My friend Dan Bueller, he's been working on it pretty hard. He's been working with me. He's been very, very awesome to deal with. I'm very happy I went with him. But other than that, I had a great year. I cannot thank everyone, my friends, my family, my sponsors, especially my number one fan, Paul Price. Thank you for all the likes, the comments, the support, the attempt to make my car in Forza. I know these cars are very rare. They're not going to be in very many games. But again, thank you for watching along. I really appreciate the support. And if you could do me a favor, follow along, subscribe. That'll really help me out across all social media. You'll find all my links in the bottom there. And again, thank you. And we look forward to 2026.